Good morning, students. In yesterday's lecture, we discussed about acute disease, what is chronic disease, then types of acute disease, that is individual, sporadic, and epidemic acute disease. Then what is chronic disease, the types of chronic disease, that is artificially produced chronic disease, pseudo chronic disease, true natural chronic disease. Then from aphorism number 84 to 86, we discuss about general guidelines about do's of case taking, that which things we should do while taking the case, which things the physician should know, which things the physician should follow while taking the case. So, general guidelines, do's of case taking, the first part of do's of case taking, which we discussed in aphorism number 84, 85, and 86. These are: we seize whatever we see, we hear, remark each and everything, whatever we see, we hear, we observe from patient as well as from his relatives or attendants. We should listen everything carefully, we should note it down without prejudiced mind, and after getting or note down all the symptoms, we should find out what is unusual symptom from that. Then while taking the case, keep silence, don't disturb the or don't interrupt the patient. Then ask the patient to speak slowly, begin each symptom on a fresh line so that we can able to complete the symptom. If it was not completed, we should complete it as a location, sensation, modality, and concomitant. Afterwards, when the patient finish his history, or when the patient finish his information, then afterwards we should complete each and every symptom in detail with uh, duration of complaint, causation, extension, and time of occurrence also. So this is discussed in aphorism number 84, 85, and 86. Then in aphorism number 87, Dr. Hahnemann give the general guidelines what the physician should not do while case taking, and these are the most important practical guidelines that we should follow while taking the case. So these guidelines are: which things we should not do while taking the case. We should never ask leading questions or the questions which is having answer in one word, that is yes or no, because it may create a false image, false picture of the disease. Should not hurry a patient in his narrative. We should give adequate time to the patient to narrate his complaint, to give his proper history of illness. Then do not ask in haphazard manner. Collect information as the patient is giving, and then afterwards, after completing the patient's history, you should ask the patient to complete. If any complaint or if any symptom is incomplete, then afterwards you should complete that symptom. Then do not hide anything from the patient. Do not rely on patient's statement entirely. Avoid questions along the line of remedy. Never ask alternating questions to the patient. Never skip from one symptom to another at random. So first complete one symptom and then go on the or go towards the other symptom. Never examine the lady patient when the physician is alone. Always examine the lady patient with the presence of any female nurse or attentive relatives or any attendant which came with the patient. Always beware of temptations. So these are the most important don'ts while we take or while taking the case during case taking. Then from aphorism number 88, 89 and 90, in these three aphorisms also we find some do's of case taking, which some do's there or some guidelines which the physician should follow during case taking. It was discussed before aphorism number 87, that is 84, 85 and 86, and also after aphorism number 87, that means from in aphorism number 88, 89 and 90. So which are these do's? We see one by one. So the general guidelines or do's, that is special inquiry about things not detailed voluntarily, about parts, functions of body, physical generals and mental state by using general expressions. If many times the patient voluntarily give his complaints, express his symptoms or give information about his illness, but he doesn't give information about some things, like about his some body parts, about his functions of the body, that means his physical general. While giving history, the physician most of the time, the patient most of the time, he told about his uh, physical illness or whatever the disease he was having, he is suffering from whatever complaints, he give information about that symptom. But if there is any uh, functions of the body, there is some changes in the functions of the body, like the thirst get changed. Before the patient was thirsty, now the patient was thirstless. Since the patient previously before disease, the appetite was normal, but since the patient get diseased, his appetite get increased or decreased. Previously the bowel habit, it was twice daily, but now since patient was suffering from any disease condition, there are changes in his bowel habit. The patient is the patient don't have urge for the only daily once the patient visit for the, then many times about his mental state by using general expressions. So what is his emotions, what is his intellectual, how he was intellectually, how he was emotionally, or how his memory was, so how his will, intellect and memory, the patient may not express, may not able to express, or he don't know that these things are also important while taking the while giving the information or while treating the disease condition. But when we are treating the patient homeopathically, then these things, they, though according to other pathies, according to other mode of treatment, these things they doesn't give that much importance, but according to homeopathy, these things, if there is any change in his physical or mental general, any change in his daily body functions, then it is very much important. So we should inquire about these things in detail if the patient doesn't give history of all these things voluntarily. Then general, in spite of best narration by patient and inquiry by physician. If physician feels not gathered sufficient information, can ask more precise and special questions to get information. Means if after narration of the history by patient, the physician think that, or according to the physician, if he doesn't get the proper or sufficient history for the repertorization purpose, for finding out the simillimum, then he should inquire, and he should take out more information from the patient. He should ask more precise questions, and after uh, getting answers, he may get the proper information from the patient about his disease condition, about his general condition before, during, before the disease, during, after commencement of the disease, and at present condition. So if the physician feel he doesn't gather a sufficient information, then he should ask questions to the patient and get the proper information whatever needed by the patient. Then in aphorism number 90, he gave some other do of or some other guideline to the physician, that own observation. The observation of the patient physician is very much important to get a proper state of the patient, to get the proper expressions to from patient's expression, to get the proper symptoms. So observation of the physician is very much important, and this observation, it give a peculiarity of the patient, peculiarity in the health of the patient, as well as peculiarity in the disease condition of the patient. So observation of the patient is very much important to get some peculiarities about the patient before disease condition and after commencement of the disease. So these are some do's and don'ts of case taking. Once we revise all do's of the case taking, that ask for all the complaints in detail, when you should note down the complaints, note first before starting to case taking, before starting to note down symptoms from the patient, you should ask the patient as well as the relatives of the patient to speak slowly, so that you can able to write down each and everything, you doesn't miss anything from the patient, or any information from the patient or his relatives. Then while writing down symptoms, you should start each symptom on a new line, and because if while narrating the complaints, if the patient doesn't give a proper history of his complaint, if the symptom is incomplete, then without interrupting to the patient when he was narrating his history, we should ask, or we should complete that symptom after the patient finish his history. So for completing symptom, we should start each symptom on a new line. Then ask the patient to tell each complaint in detail. Symptoms. When we write down the symptoms should be written in chronological order. That means how or when the symptoms started. First, the old symptom should be written, and in the same way, in chronological order, we should note down all the symptoms. Should be dedicated and unprejudiced. The physician, he should be dedicated to while curing his patient, as well as he should be unprejudiced. Take minimum symptoms of maximum importance. So you should take minimum symptoms so that it is easy for analysis, it is easy for evaluation, as well as it is easy task for making the totality of symptom. And the symptoms, if the symptoms are minimum in number but they are uncommon peculiar symptoms, so they are having the maximum importance, so the minimum take the minimum symptom of maximum importance. So these are some do's of the case taking. Also we discussed some other points in the above aphorisms. Then which are don'ts of the case taking? We revise once again. We should not hurry a patient in his narrative. Then do not ask any type of leading questions which suggest an answer. Do not ask in haphazard manner. Then do not use complicated technical terms. We always interact with the patient in his own language so that the patient feel comfortable, and we never use any complicated or any technical terms so that the patient feel uneasy. Then we should not hide anything from the patient. We do not rely on patient's statement entirely. Avoid questions along the line of remedy. As we are thinking of any one remedy, then never ask the questions along the line of remedy. Never ask alternating questions. Never skip from one symptom to another at random. Every time you should complete each and every symptom, complete one symptom, and then we should go towards the other symptom. Never skip from one symptom to another symptom randomly. Then never examine a lady in the absence of her relative or any female nurse. Always beware of temptations. So these are the don'ts of the case taking. Then which we discussed in aphorism number 84, do's of case taking, it is given in aphorism number 84, 85, 86, 88, 89 and 90. In these 6 aphorism, Dr. Hahnemann give very well the practical clinical guidelines to all homeopathic physician, that which things we should do while taking the case. And in aphorism number 87, Dr. Hahnemann give the guidelines about the don'ts of the case taking, which things we do not or we should never do while taking the case. So remember do's and don'ts of case taking, because it was asked many times in the examination for 2 mark, for 5 mark and for 10 mark. Now from aphorism number 91 to aphorism number 93, Dr. Hahnemann give special guideline for patients taking medicine from another physician. So when the patient is taking medicine from another physician, then it it is having some side effects, or it may complicate the disease. If the patient taking medicine for chronic disorder, such patients do not give true picture of disease. Therefore, do one of the following things. Many times what happen, especially in chronic diseases, the disease is since long period the patient was suffering from any disease condition, and for that disease condition the patient was taking allopathic medicine, and due to these allopathic medicines the new disease which appear, uh, which is called as medicinal disease. So in such condition the patient never give the true picture of the disease. So what we should do in such patients? Leave patient without medicine. When the patient came to you after or since he was suffering from long time and he was taking allopathic medicine, so in such patients leave the patient without giving any medicine. Give only a placebo to the patient and leave the patient for some time. Give something of unmedicated nature, that is placebo or saclac. Then try to get uncontaminated picture of disease before taking medicine, because it is the true picture of disease. Then after some time we should ask the patient to give the history of his suffering before he was starting or before he was started his allopathic medicines. How the complaint was, how he was physically, as physical generals, how his physical generals are before he started the allopathic treatment, how his mental state was before he started the allopathic treatment. If the patient remember, then try to get uncontaminated picture of disease before starting allopathic treatment. We should collect the symptoms. If the patient remember which symptoms at that time the patient is having, we should collect all those symptoms and try to make the true picture of the disease, that is the true picture of the disease. And now what we get after taking allopathic medicines for long period, the patient develop a medicinal disease, which we discussed later in the next aphorisms. So the patient in aphorism number 2, it is given that patient taking medicine but disorder is rapid, dangerous and of serious kind. If patient is taking medicine but he was suffering so badly and his disorder, his disease condition, it is rapid in progress, it is dangerous and it is of serious kind, then what the physician should do, what is the role of the physician in such cases? So admit no delay in treatment. In such patients we should never wait and watch. We should immediately give treatment to the patient. When the patient is in serious condition, it is the progress is very rapid, very fast and dangerous. Then in such cases we should admit no delay. We should immediately start the treatment to relieve the present complaints. Then consider the actual picture. What is actual picture? Conjoint malady, that is original picture plus modified picture. Now in aphorism number 91 I had discussed that after taking allopathic medicine for a long duration, the patient may develop a medicinal disease with his original disease, and it form a conjoint malady. So original disease plus medicinal disease, it forms a conjoint malady. So considered what is the present state of the patient in uh, rapid and serious condition, rapid progressing, dangerous and serious condition. We should collect the history or collect the symptoms from the patient of conjoint malady, that is his original complaints as well as his medicinal disease complaint. So we should take whatever actual acute picture is there, we should consider the actual picture at that time, and we should give a suitable homeopathic remedy, homeopathic similimum to the patient, so that the patient feel relief from his acute condition, from his serious or dangerous condition. And in aphorism number 93, Dr. Hahnemann he gave that try to find the cause of disease, either coming in short time or chronic disease of some obvious cause by careful interrogation. So many times, if we doesn't know the cause of disease, then we should never cure the patient. We temporarily give him relief, we palliate his symptoms, we suppress his symptoms, but we never cure the patient. We never heal the patient, or never remove the patient's complaint from its origin. So, first and most important thing while taking the case in such cases is to try to find the cause of the disease, which is either coming in short time or chronic diseases of some obvious cause by careful interrogation. So this is most important thing, that is to find out the cause of disease. Then previously we discussed that chronic case taking, it is discussed or it is given by Dr. Hahnemann from aphorism number 94 to aphorism number 98. And about acute diseases or acute case taking, it is given from aphorism number 99 to aphorism number 102. So, and also the appraising, that is critically judging the case taken, it is given in aphorism number 103 and 104. So we start with the chronic case taking. What is chronic disease? We discussed earlier. What is acute disease? That also we discussed earlier. Then we start with the chronic case taking. If the patient is suffering from a long period of time, then the disease is chronic disease. Then which things we should find out in chronic cases, also which difficulties while treating the case, while taking the case we felt, especially in chronic diseases. So special interrogation of chronic disease for finding maintaining cause in chronic cases. Following points should be investigated. Which things we should investigate, especially in finding out the maintaining cause, because many times there is any maintaining cause which doesn't give the patient relief. So we should investigate the following things. We should investigate man and his environment, how the man was, what is the nature of patient or that person, then how he react with his family, how his relation at workplace, how his relation in the society. We should find out the man as a person, the man as how the man is mentally, his mental state as well as his physical state. Then ordinary occupation, what is his occupation, if there is any occupational hazards, then we should also find out. If there is any reason due to his occupation, then we should also find out that cause and we should try to remove it. Then usual mode of diet and living. Many times due to any particular type of diet, it may cause harm to the health of the patient, or many times the living, how or where the patient is living, in which atmosphere, in which weather the patient was exposed most, uh, the atmosphere or the condition of his house, the condition of his surrounding, it also matters uh, for the health of the patient. So we should inquire or we should find out the usual mode of diet, which type of diet the patient is having, how much diet he was taking daily, for how many times he was eating, all his diet habits, all his living, how all about his living we should make or we should find out the information from the patient. Then his domestic situation, in which situation, in which condition he was living, we should find out these things so that it is easy for the physician to find out the maintaining cause, especially in the chronic disease. This is given in aphorism number 93. Sorry, in aphorism number 94. While inquiring into the state of chronic disease, the particular circumstances of the patient with regard to his ordinary occupations, his usual mode of living and diet, his domestic situation, and so forth, must be well considered and scrutinized to ascertain what there is in them that may tend to produce or to maintain disease, in order that by their removal the recovery may be promoted. So many times the way of our treatment, the mode of our treatment is correct, the selection of remedy is correct, the selection of potency is correct, the repetition of the dose it is also correct, then also the patient was not getting any sort of relief, or the patient was not getting complete relief. He get somewhat better than his previous condition, but he was not getting a complete relief from his complaint. Then in such cases, to find out the maintaining cause, to find out the exciting cause, it is the most important thing to cure the patient. Because after removing such maintaining cause, after removing such exciting factor, exciting cause, we should recover the patient very easily, or the patient get cured very easily and completely. So to inquire about these thing, about his about the man, his environment, about his occupation, about his mode of living, about his mode of diet, his domestic situation. All these things are very much important to find out the maintaining cause or exciting cause, if there is any present behind that disease condition or behind that complaints. So when we remove those maintaining cause, then the patient in short period, very soon the patient feel better. In chronic diseases of females, it is especially necessary to pay attention to pregnancy, sterility, sexual desire, miscarriages, suckling, and the state of menstrual discharges. So, especially in chronic cases, these are all related to the physical general things, and these are very much important, because if the female is suffering from long time, then it may affect or it may reflect in these forms. So there may be any problem in pregnancy, sterility, miscarriages, suckling, and menstrual discharges. So it may get disturbed. It was there, we found some abnormality. With respect to the last named, more particularly, we should not neglect to ascertain if it recurs as to short interval or is delayed beyond the proper time, how many days it lasts, whether its flow is continuous or interrupted, what is its general quantity, how dark is its color, whether there is leukorrhea before its appearance or after its termination, but especially by what bodily or mental elements with sensations and pains it is preceded, accompanied, or followed. If there is leukorrhea, what is its nature, what sensation attained its flow, in what quantity it is, and what are the conditions and occasions under which it occurs. So while taking the chronic case, all these things it is important, but in that most important thing is about the menstrual history in case of female, because we should never neglect these complaints or about detail about these things. If the menses recur in short interval, it may be delayed beyond the prior time, or it may last for long period, it may last for very short period. Then its flow, how the type of flow during menstruation, is it continuous, is it interrupted, what is its quantity, how much the flow was, then what is its color, is it dark or light, is it washable or not washable, whether there is leukorrhea before its appearance or after its termination, but especially by what bodily or mental elements. Means these are all important things, but if they came with any mental or any bodily elements, any physical elements, then it become much more important than the before. What sensation and pain it is preceded and accompanied or followed. If there is leukorrhea before or after menstruation, then we should find out or we should inquire about what is its nature, what sensation and attend its flow, then what sensations attend its flow, how was the sensations during flow, then in what quantity it is occasionally or it is regular, how much quantity it is, in how much quantity it is, then what are the conditions and occasions under which it occurs, does it occur during each and every cycle, it is occur occasionally, in which, especially in which condition or when it appear. So these things are also very very important while taking the chronic case. Then in aphorism number 95, 96 and 97, Dr. Hahnemann discuss about the difficulties in case taking. So which difficulties we may face while taking the case. So we discussed one by one. In aphorism number 95, Dr. Hahnemann discussed, or he was started with difficulties especially in chronic case taking. So accessory symptom. What is accessory symptom? Patient become used to their suffering, pay little attention to their symptoms, consider these symptoms as a part of their health, and don't believe that these symptoms have any connection to their principal malady. So these are the accessory symptoms. What is accessory symptoms? That in especially in chronic disease, when as the patient is suffering from long period, long duration, many times there are some physical symptoms which appear with the chronic disease, but as the disease is chronic one, it is since a long period. In the same way, the symptom which appear with the chief complaint, it is also, or the symptom which appear with the chronic complaint, it is also chronic in nature, and the patient never felt that it was important. According to him, it may be he pay very little attention and it may be a part of their health, it is not the due to his any disease condition. So the patient think that it is not a symptom but it is a part of his health, and there is no any collection between the chief complaint, the main chronic complaint, and the symptom which is present at that time, or the symptom which is he think that it is his own normal symptom or his normal behavior. So this is according to the patient that it is the symptom, it is nothing but a symptom, but it is a part of their health, and these symptoms are called as a accessory symptom. As for example, if the patient is having the bowel habits 2 to 3 times at morning since 5 years, and he was suffering from rheumatoid arthritis since 7 years, and he was having the bowel habit 3 times daily in the morning since 5 years. As this is not normal, or there this is not since his childhood, but this symptom appear since 5 years, that the bowel habit it is increased in frequency, it is thrice daily, especially in the morning, but it is since 5 years the patient he never gave or according to patient, it was not the any disease, but it is the symptom of his health, symptom of his own body. It is not due to any disturbances. So he doesn't feel the importance of that symptom, and so that he never give information about that to the physician. So these symptoms are called as accessory symptoms. In chronic diseases, the investigation of the signs of disease above mentioned and of all others must be pursued as carefully and circumstantially as possible, and the most minute peculiarities must be attended to, partly because in these diseases they are the most characteristic and least resemble those of acute diseases, and if a cure is to be effected, they cannot be too accurately noted, partly because the patients become so used to their long suffering that they pay little or no need to the lesser accessory symptoms, as the suffering is since long period, and according to patient, those symptoms, they are not important to the to give or to narrate while history taking or while giving the history of his suffering, partly because the patients become so used to their long sufferings that they pay little or no need to the lesser accessory symptoms, which are often very pregnant with meaning, that is characteristic, often very useful in determining the choice of a remedy, and regard them almost as a necessary part of their condition, almost as health, the real feeling of which they have well nigh forgotten in their sometimes 15 or 20 years of suffering, and they can scarcely bring themselves to believe that these accessory symptoms, these greater or less deviations from the healthy state, can have any connection with their principal malady. So, from this aphorism, the most and important thing to remember is, as the disease is long lasting, the suffering is long lasting, so the patient, he doesn't pay or doesn't give importance, he pay little attention towards that symptom, and he think that it is the symptom of his own, or it is not a symptom of disease. But while treating the patient, such symptoms, they are very much useful, and with the help of these symptoms we can easily, or we, it is helpful for treating the patient. So in this way, about the accessory symptoms, and these symptoms are called as accessory symptoms. So in this way, in aphorism number 95, Dr. Hahnemann very well discussed about or explained about the accessory symptoms. Then in aphorism number 96, Dr. Hahnemann, he give the difficulties in chronic case taking. So first difficulty we found in aphorism number 95, that is accessory symptom. Then the other difficulty is hypochondriac patient. hypochondriacs and the patient is sensitive and impatient in nature. If the patient is hypochondriac, if the patient is too much sensitive, and if the patient is impatient, the patient doesn't have patience, he is too much impatient, then it is difficult to treat such patients, especially in chronic cases. Describe their symptoms in too much vivid color and exaggerated manner. Hypochondriac patient, they describe their symptoms in too much exaggerated manner. If the symptom or the complaint is not that much of intensity, but they explain that symptom in such a way that it is very much violent, or they explain it with a vivid color and exaggerated manner in order to induce physician to give them relief. So to give the relief, the we should have, or we should find out all the symptoms, and in such patients we may get the false image of disease picture, or the picture of the symptoms of that patient. But such patients do not fabricate symptoms, but these point of exaggeration, sensitive and impatient, should be considered for portrait of disease. And many time in such hypochondriac patient, such oversensitive patient, such impatient patient, in such patient we get the portrait of disease, it was not correct, because as the symptoms, the intensity of symptom is different and patient express it in very much exaggerated way. Due to the oversensitiveness of the patient, the simple or the symptom he express in too much deep way or with too much sensitivity, so the gravity or the intensity of the symptom may increase by the patient while narrating the symptom. And if the patient is impatient, he doesn't have a patience, then he do not give us a proper history, he do not cooperate us, he do not wait for the cure, he move or he go from one pathy to other pathy, he cannot take the treatment properly, and so in such cases the cure is very much difficult. So in this way, in today's lecture we discussed with do's of case taking as well as don'ts of case taking, how Dr. Hahnemann give guidelines what to do while taking the case in aphorism number 84, 85, 86 and 88, 89, 90, and which things we should not do, which should never do while taking the case. This is given in aphorism number 87. Then from aphorism number 93, aphorism number 94, Dr. Hahnemann gave the in aphorism number 94 he gave the special interrogations of chronic disease for finding out the maintaining cause, which cause or which maintaining cause it may be behind the disease condition, and till we should never find out that maintaining cause, we should never remove that maintaining cause, till that we cannot get the complete cure in the patient. Though our medicine, choice of medicine, selection of medicine, potency, repetition, all is correct, but then also till we do not remove the maintaining cause, we do not remove the exciting cause, we are not getting the complete cure in the patient. So this is very much important thing to find out the maintaining cause, especially in chronic disease, and to remove them. Then in from aphorism number 94, 95, in aphorism number 95, 96 and 97, it is given difficulties in chronic case taking. So in aphorism number 95, it is given about explanation about the accessory symptoms. The symptoms which present since a long time with chronic complaint, but as it was present since long time, it is not having that much intensity. So according to the patient, he thinks that it may be the symptom of his own or his physical being. And in aphorism number 96, it is given about the hypochondriac patient. Many times if the patient is hypochondriac, he is sensitive, he is impatient, he is uh, hypochondriac, then he exaggerate his symptoms. He give, due to his oversensitiveness, he give his symptoms with much uh, with some exaggerated manner, and we do not get the proper portrait of disease, especially in such cases. And due to the wrong totality, due to the wrong collection of symptoms, we may not reach towards the proper minimum. So this is also very much important difficulty while we treat the chronic case. Besides this, patients themselves differ so much in their dispositions that some, especially the so-called hypochondriacs and other persons of great sensitiveness and impatient of suffering, portray their symptoms in too vivid colors, and in order to induce the physician to give them relief, describe their elements in exaggerated expressions. So many times the patient exaggerate, with the exaggeration the patient give their symptoms in exaggerated way due to his oversensitiveness, and so that we may get a wrong portrait of disease, wrong totality of that patient, and we cannot able to find out the proper simillimum. So this is about aphorism number 96. It is also given that a pure fabrication of symptom and sufferings will never be met with in hypochondriacs, even in the most impatient of them. A comparison of the sufferings they complain of at various times when the physician gives them nothing at all, or sometimes quite unmedicinal, proves this plainly. But we must deduct something from their exaggeration. At all events, ascribe the strong character of their expression to their excessively sensibility, in which case this very exaggeration of their expression when talking of their elements becomes of itself an important symptom in the list of features of which the portrait of disease is composed. The case is different with insane person and rascally vagueness of disease. So it is, we are talking about the hypochondriac patient, and it is not about the insane person. The case is different of insane person. So the hypochondriac patient, oversensitive patient, it is different than insane person. Then in aphorism number 97, he give about the indolence, if the patient indolence, false modesty, mildness of disposition and weakness of mind. Due to these reasons, the patient, he cannot able to give a detailed history. He may miss any important symptoms due to his forgetfulness, his weakness of mind, and this is we discussed in the next lecture. So from aphorism number 97, we discussed in the next lecture which difficulties we may felt while treating the chronic case. Thank you.